The other day, I was scanning through hundreds of pins on Pinterest, and I found a pin that I didn't just collectively add to the board, my pins. I decided to see what the fluffy ducks were all about and who the artist was that painted the picture. It led me to the blog, A Holy Experience. As it turns out, the blogger, Anne Voskamp, had been looking at a book about artists and paintings with her children. And she had come across a painting of ducks by Alexander, I think it's Koester or Koester, I don't know, it's Koester. And if you search under all for this Koester, you'll find a whole bunch of people with that name on Amazon. But I'm going to link it so that you can see the picture. I'm dividing up this blog with pictures. And be certain you look for Alexander, and you'll find his paintings for ducks on the pond. Take a good, close look at it. The nest is fluffy, and under those yellow ducks, in this book, there's a caption underneath that said, "Mother ducks pick feathers from their chests to line the nest." What she had said made a lot of sense. I mean, the mother duck wouldn't just randomly pick up feathers off the ground and put them into the nest. She took them from her heart, her chest, and lovingly placed them in the nest to provide a warm, safe place for her ducklings, so that they would have some place to hatch and they would be safe. Anne compared raising kids and lining the nest to this mama duck. And every time they needed or demanded more, she could feel the pluck of another feather to line the nest, to make it more secure. And sometimes at night, when everyone was asleep, she could feel that bald spot. Go read her blog, because I put a link in here. It will make more sense to you. And be certain to let all the pictures load on her blog. It's very emotional, very loving. In my family, we always call it tugging at your heartstrings. Sometimes it's hard to let those heartstrings relax and stretch out, and it hurts. It hurts so bad that they feel like they're being ripped out. And that's when you know you need to let them relax and give your child room to grow. And that you've been holding on too tightly. This blog also had something at the bottom of it. It had the 1000 Moms Project. And on Mother's Day today, if 1000 moms are thanked on Twitter or Facebook or on individual blogs, A Holy Experience blog will donate $37 to the project for anyone who thanks their mom, and link at the bottom of her blog. You can click on her blog and follow the directions at the bottom, and you can put the hashtags on Twitter that are #1000gifts or #moms, and she will look for them. But definitely link it to her. This is my way of thanking my mom. I've been job hunting for a while, and a lot of my interviewers ask me, so who inspires you? Who do you look up to? And I tell them, my mom. And they're like, yeah. We all look up to our moms. And I tell them, no. Let me tell you about my mom. My mom was born during the Great Depression. And she survived that. She learned how to scrimp and save. And she knew how to pinch a penny and make it go a long ways. She survived World War II. She survived the Korean War. And she also was around during the Vietnam War. Her father came back a changed man from World War II. Her stepfather was in World War II and the Korean War. And both of them came back. She survived 2 divorces, one of them of which was a very abusive divorce, or a very abusive marriage. And she walked out after 28 years. She walked out the door with only the clothes on her back and started over. Shortly after that, she had a heart attack, and she survived it. A few years later, she had another heart attack and survived it. In 2000, she was driving on a mountain road with a friend. They were coming back from visiting other friends and hit a black ice spot on the road and spun out of control in the car, went off the edge of the road, hit a bunch of boulders on the way down in the car, and the car landed in a field of boulders. She broke her neck, crushing the C1 and 2 wings of it on the edges. She broke the T5 and 6 in the middle of her back. She broke 3 ribs. She had a slight brain hemorrhage. She had a big gash on the back of her head. She tore up her left rotator cuff in her shoulder. She damaged her knee. She damaged her hip. And she should have never even walked away, survived that car accident. And she did. She's even walking now. Sometimes with a cane, not too often. A woman walks 10,000 steps. 10,000 steps a day, which equals 5 miles. Actually, she does more than that because she's running around taking care of a 2-year-old, her great-granddaughter, my sister's granddaughter. Another thing that I want to add about my mom is that she's a cancer survivor. Last year, when she went for a checkup with her dermatologist, she had some spots on her face that were different than the other spots that she'd had before. And when the dermatologist biopsied them, they came back as basal cell carcinoma. So he had her come back in, and he did a little more in-depth surgery on her face and her nose, and then after he sewed a couple of spots up, he gave her some ointment and had her put it all over her face for about 6 to 8 weeks. And it basically peeled her skin and gave her soft, new baby, soft skin, fresh skin, and had her come back in for a checkup, and he said that it took care of it, along with the surgery, and told her that she didn't have to come back for another year. So she's a cancer survivor, among all the other things that have happened to her in her life. She's an amazing woman. And I want to thank her for showing me strength and perseverance and love. That's what my mom has shown me, and why I look up to her, and why she inspires me. Thank you, Mom, for being there for all of us. I love you. And happy Mother's Day. I love you the mostest.